Welcome into another episode of Talkin Grizz. I am Kelcey, and I am joined for this off-season series where we're going to talk to people from around the league. So today we have the sports writer for the Charlotte Observer, Rick Bonnell. Thank you for joining me today. How's it going?
Oh, absolutely great, Kelcey. I hope you are.
I'm so happy to hear that. And before we started recording, we just found out that we have a mutual friend. So I feel like we're longtime friends now by association, right? Sort of. All right, so the Hornets have the number 3 pick in the upcoming draft, and with the current roster, with a very young core with Devontae Graham and Rozier and Bridges, is there a positional need that you see going forward that needs to be filled with this pick, or is there a positional need that you see would fit better than another? Like, I don't know if you need a point guard or you need a center, or what do you think the Hornets are gonna do looking forward at this draft?
Kelcey, that's actually an excellent question to ask because the answer is a little different. The Hornets are the most starless team in the league, by far. They have a lot of decent complementary parts. They have absolutely no one since Kemba left that you would define as somebody you can build around for a team that you could actually envision getting to the second or third round of the playoffs. I mention that because Mitch Kupchak, the general manager here, has been very transparent repeatedly in saying that position will not play any role in what they do with a third round pick. They have got to take the best player because they're in no position not to. Now, having said that, that does not mean they don't need more help in some places than others. It's interesting you're talking to me from Memphis because in many ways, James Wiseman would do something that they really aren't right now. They are terribly hurting for rim protection. James Wiseman logically would fit a lot of needs here, but I'll tell you somebody else who just as easily could accomplish that task in a different way. Deni Avdija from Israel is that sort of connector, multi-skilled, wing guy, somebody who's going to be a 3 but also play a little bit of 4, who is exactly the kind of player they are not. Their wings are very shaky right now. It's not that Terry Rozier isn't a good player. He's playing out of position at shooting guard. It's not that Miles Bridges isn't a good player. He's not a small forward. He needs to be a small ball power forward. They need somebody who actually is a natural fit at the wing positions.
Okay, so you kind of answered my next question, but I'm just going to straight up ask you because you gave some options. In your opinion, who do you think would, come onto this roster and make that immediate impact right away?
First of all, I don't know that there's anybody who would immediately change the course of this team the way that, say, Ja Morant did in Memphis. Because, frankly, I don't have any faith that anybody in this draft, even if you have the first pick, is going to be that much of a difference maker.
Like a big superstar.
Right. I will tell you that one of the things that's going to be very interesting about picking third is nobody knows what the Warriors are going to do. They are such an outlier in the whole nature of draft lotteries. That's a team that when everybody's healthy is still very much in championship pursuit.
Oh, yeah.
So that means that I think it's at least as likely that pick is traded as anything else. And if it's not traded, you could see them running in more, in more different directions than almost anybody else. So I think if you're Mitch and you say, I'm just going to take the next best player, and I'm not particularly worried about, who that is, what position he plays. I think he's being very honest because I think that's the only way that you can play being the third pick in this draft.
Yeah, you just got to wait for the Warriors and get whoever is kind of highest. It's interesting that you bring those two names up because obviously those are two of the top guys, but you don't bring up LaMelo.
That's because I think he's logically gone before then.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I have a feeling. I'm not saying that I know this, but I'm saying if I just had to throw darts at a board, I think that it's either Edwards Ball or Ball Edwards. And something, if that works out, I think the Hornets having a choice between Wiseman, Avdija, and the others, I think it's a pretty good place to be with a third pick because, like I said, they just need to get better. It doesn't necessarily matter where.
Perfect. Rick, this was awesome. This was very informative. Thank you so much for your time today. It was great meeting you. Where can people find your work?
The Charlotte Observer, and my Twitter handle is @Rick_Bonnell.
Perfect. And Memphis Grizzlies, you can get more coverage on grindcitymedia.com.